I have the fondest memories of this movie growing up. I remember seeing the DVD for this movie and just thinking, wow, a horror movie that's also about an inconspicuous video game? I'm sold. Like, that's it for me. I used to settle in to watch this 15 rated movie because I was a big boy and I wasn't scared. And it has stuck with me ever since. From the upside down visor, I will never forget that, to Phineas's one-liners.
I wanna fuck.
It has a lasting impression. When I was putting this video together, I realised that this movie has had a lot of movie posters. Like, a lot of them. I mean, I'm showing them here. One of them might stick out for you, but this is the one that rings a bell for me. Although I did find this poster with this website, I looked it up just to see if it still worked, and it just roots you back to Disney. It's a bit sinister, isn't it, Disney? Now, for this video, I wanted to find the unrated version, and I just could not find it anywhere online. It was all just theatrical releases, and I've seen a lot of people talking about the fact that the unrated version isn't online. But I just couldn't wait. I wanted to get stuck into this movie because the more I thought about making this video, I just really had to watch Stay Alive again. So I hopped online, bought the DVD. Yes, it is the German version, but don't worry. It's got English audio. I bought it so that you lovely folks could see every scene that this movie has to offer. You know, not just that baby theatrical version. No, I'm talking the big leagues, the big boy movie. Very quickly though, I do love this detail on the back. So you can see here all the cast, right? That's them there going along. And it just lets you know a little bit what they've been in. You know their most known roles, like Frankie Muniz, he was in 괚ᴇᴅɪᴛ괱, of course. It has been years since I watched this movie, so let's go through it and break down Stay Alive and just find out why it's been on my mind for so many years. We immediately get a jump scare of some creepy eyes just to really set the tone of this movie. We are then whisked away through the game world showing us this creepy mansion. Now I will be honest, the graphics, they're not amazing, but I have seen worse graphics in actual games even today from some indie developers. No shame on indie developers, of course, but this movie's game world looks like an old school cutscene for the gameplay of it, if that makes sense. I like it. It feels comfy, do you know what I mean? We see this player making his way through the mansion and getting some scares that you're going to expect. Now some of the scares, I will be honest, only make sense with it being a movie. Like this painting moving when he walks away, for example. In a game, that just wouldn't work. You know, it's not that kind of layers of fear thing where it plays with where you're looking. No, he's left. That's for us as the audience of the movie. It's a little bit pointless in the game world, but I'm here for it. The game keeps cutting between first person and third person for whatever will have like the most horror effect for it being a movie at the end of the day. It is unrealistic for a game, but for a movie, it makes perfect sense. You know, you want the biggest impact for your scares. All the monsters are coming for him now though. And he just unfortunately does not make it. Loomis here calls our main man Hutch, just to kind of update him on the game, and he wants a bit of company for the night. He got spooked pretty hard, like those monsters are fucking creepy. Don't blame you, man.
You gonna make it over here? Can you come over? You wanna come over?
I mean, he's knocking back some Red Bulls after all, so he's not going to be sleeping for a while. It's like Gamer 101, you know? Give them some energy drinks. I say that while I've got a shelf full of Sneak back there, but you know what? It makes sense. A quick peek behind the scenes here. Loomis's name hasn't been mentioned in the movie yet, and whilst I'm writing down my notes for the movie, I wanted his name. So I just googled it to guess who he was. I paused the movie right here. I took a guess at who I thought he was and found this photo. There is no disputing that sexy lip bite, is there? Loomis heads on upstairs to his roommate Rex's room, and holy hell, they're going at it.
Shit, man, don't you knock?
Easily, without a doubt, the most relaxed roommates you have ever seen in any movie. Rex does not stop fucking this whole scene. Like, he is still going at it. He had far too much momentum going in those hips to stop, you know what I mean?
What's up?
Loomis is just wanting to tell him what he found in the game and the fact that Rex hasn't played for a couple of hours now. I can't imagine why Rex probably decided to put the game down. He might have better things to do. Maybe. Possibly.
What's next? You want to watch or?
The mask's a bit weird though, isn't it? Loomis gets up in the middle of the night. He's after a little midnight snack after all, and he starts getting the scares as he's going down to the kitchen. This game is in his head, like he is getting freaked out. And I will be honest, I've been there myself with either some movies or some video games. You know where you turn it off and you're going to go to bed, and you start walking around your house in the dark and you see and hear the things from the game? I've been there, Loomis, I feel you. And then we hear this, which will be a very reoccurring noise for the movie to come. That low drone is fucking haunting, and I remember it so vividly from this movie. There are a lot of aspects I've forgotten, but that drone stayed with me, and it is a sign that shit is going down. Loomis runs upstairs to see Rex in action again, but not tonight, unfortunately. It's a fucking bloodbath. Much like it was in the video game world. So if you're seeing the parallel now, what do you think happens next with Loomis? Yep, he goes over the banister. R.I.P. Loomis. We didn't know you for long, but I liked you for what I seen. Do you know what I mean? He's a good guy.
Took a shit since Fatal Frame.
That intro has got to be one of the most efficient intros I've seen in a lot of horror movies. We've seen the balance of live action in the video game. We also see the rules to the video game. Like, we get that if you die in the game, you'll die in real life. And we also get the idea that that drone means hauntings coming. You know, we get an idea of the scares to come. It fucking works really well. Now, a lot of that will be expanded on, we'll start getting answers, but just for a simple setup, like we're only a few minutes into the movie, fucking A-class, stay alive. Cut to Hutch, and he's been called in by his boss Miller for a very urgent meeting. Hutch thinks his boss might be wanting to talk projections, crunch some numbers. No, my man wants to talk about Silent Hill.
Now, the walkthrough says I dumped the ammo when the boss dies.
I'm sorry, we're not still talking about Silent Hill 4, are we?
Well, yes.
He just needed some tips for going through the games, and you know what? I do feel for him in this scene. Like, I've been Hutch in a lot of scenarios when my friends are getting through the Souls games for the first time. Miller's making some good progress, but he still needs some help.
Do I look like an asshole? Yes, I have the hyperplex.
Now, I can't help but feel that they picked that weapon in particular just because it sounded the most video gamey for somebody watching this who doesn't really play video games.
Yeah. Man.
You get that weapon in Silent Hill 1, not Silent Hill 4 that they're talking about. And even then, you get it when you complete the game, so you'll know what you're doing at that point. I think I can let it slide for a little bit more of that Silent Hill 4 representation.
Okay, yeah, dump it.
I have no idea either why you would dump it, but you know what? Hutch is a video game elitist,
I need it to get to the final boss.
Well, and beat her straight up. It's the way God intended.
whereas Miller, he's open to any exploit to get the upper hand.
Lose her right before going down the stairs, she'll die on her own. Game over.
all right, okay.
Hutch gets a call that Loomis has died, and then we just cut over to the funeral. This man has a shirt and tie combo for like every occasion. Abigail here has taken photos in like very inappropriate moments. I mean, she seems sweet, but she's got that kind of quirky girl thing vibe that like the early 2000 movies all had.
So many crying faces at this funeral, and you seem to be the saddest, but you were crying.
Hutch, on the other hand, yeah, he's a bit fucking slow.
Did you just take a picture of me?
I did.
These two get to talking, and it turns out that they were both supposed to be at Loomis's house that night. Loomis's sister gives Hutch a bag of games.
Here.
Wait, this is your brother's bag.
Now, I don't know about you, but I've never been to a funeral that comes with gifts, but if there is one out there, video games is going to be the one for me. Abigail gives her digits over to Hutch, so all in all, a pretty positive funeral experience for our main man here, minus the death and Loomis being gone, but he's doing well. He heads on over to see his pal October, and she's just chilling on the cafe counter for some reason. I wouldn't be against going to that cafe, but for working there, it's a bit weird. October's brother Finn walks in with just the most establishing first line you've ever heard in a movie.
Tell you, bro, first your parents, now this. God dealt the straws and gave you a short one, man.
We love Finn around here.
Be strong, that's all I'm saying, okay? You know what I mean, bro? You're a rock.
We could all use a Finn.
But even an idiot for a brother.
Oh my God, you're a terrible person.
The siblings go through the bag of mementos here. Finn finds a lighter which triggers a little bit of trauma for our man Hutch here. That may be relevant later on in the movie. Finn finds Stay Alive, and we learn that Loomis was a video game tester, so it's not been released yet, not many people know about it, but Finn is keen to play this game.
If Loomis was indeed testing this game, that means it is barely legal.
And also,
Everybody likes to touch something for the first time. You know, I actually get a boner in moments like these. It's kind of like butterflies.
cut to Hutch here just cleaning his plastic cups for some reason. Hutch is also very environmentally conscious. Good man, Hutch. We have got a new player in the movie introducing Swink.
Jesus Christ.
He's a bit shite with sadness,
So, I'm sorry, you know, about your friend and all.
but this man knows how to set up a LAN party, so you know what? Play to your strengths there, Swink. Abigail is here too, so the whole gang have came together to play Stay Alive. And Abigail, yeah, well, she's caught the eye of our Finn.
Girl has got body karate going on.
I fucking love you, Finn. Never change. Swink is making his way through about 14 miles of cable, and Finn talks him into staying late for the party.
I gotta double back to C dorm and suss out a naughty network glitch for the theta pledges.
Okay.
Quite the gnarly dilemma.
Well, you could also take the skirt off and join us playing this virgin game.
Hutch suddenly remembers he's fucked up and he needs to run.
Oh, shit. Oh, man.
This man has forgot to put out fresh toilet paper. Abigail's got that kind of chill girl vibe. Again, that kind of weirdo but unfazed by life sort of character you've seen a lot in the 2000s. Hutch is too polite. He's like a really awkward gentleman.
I'll let you finish. Just hold the handle down for at least 5 seconds.
Okay.
She wipes off and then rejoins the party. Swink is one of those characters that the writers of this movie clearly thought that's what video gamers are. I'm not saying gamers like him don't exist, but he has got a goddamn wrist support and an industrial headset just to play. But also the tastiest of controllers.
Bro.
Do it.
We boot up Stay Alive and let's get gaming.
Sweet Sebastian Bach, I want to play.
When I watched this movie as a kid, I wanted to play with this group of people. Like, they all just seemed really chill and cool, and I would have loved to join in. Not for this game, maybe. We'll play some Mario Kart or something. Stay Alive can come on later. We've got everyone here together, plus Miller is playing from his office. Like, he just does not leave the office, even when he's gaming. The gang don't quite know how to progress with the game, and Abigail, the non-gamer of the group, suggests reading the text.
Maybe you're supposed to read that prayer right there. Just thought.
She gets shot down, like, immediately for it.
Voice activated? No way. That's next generation technology.
Okay.
But it turns out she's right.
Come to me, clouds. Whoa.
What?
Once it's been read though, we get this weird cool effect behind them, so you know, shit just changed. The guys all customise their characters, and my god, this is like some next level character creators, especially for coming out early 2000s. Swink looks just like Swink.
괶 plantation. 200 years ago, Countess Elizabeth Bathory opened.
The game now just tells them, because they've read that text, yeah, they're pretty much fucked now.
You spoke the words, and soon you will die for it.
It mentions the 괶 plantation, and October remembers hearing about this as a kid.
괶.
You've heard of it?
Yeah, do you remember that Grandma used to tell us that if we didn't get home before dark, we'd get taken off by...
It's a place where a serial killer operated from, and she's a bit hazy on the detail, but it's registered some memories for her. Now, looking this up for this video, it turns out that the antagonist, Elizabeth Bathory, was a real person, but the plantation's fictional. She looks a bit different to what we get. Like, in the movie, we get scary, scary countess. In real life, we got slightly intimidating, miffed Elizabeth. Like, she probably still fucking killed people, but it's less threatening, isn't it? We get this awesome establishing shot just setting up all the characters and the models and the mansion.
And stop the evil. But in order to do that, you must stay alive.
Miller clearly thought the cutscene was going to last just a little bit longer.
You guys feel that?
We've all been there, Miller. I feel you. We get our first enemy as well, and fuck me is it brutal from the start.
Okay.
When fear
However, it does this slight detail where Hutch turns around to talk to the rest of the couch, and his character in the game also turns around slightly. Look, the video game we've got here isn't perfect. It's going to have some things that just don't work for an actual video game. And that's fine. Stay Alive is finding that middle ground between game and movie. I'm not going to call them all out, but just know they're not going unnoticed. It changes up angles and mechanics and just things you wouldn't expect. I get it though, they're trying to appease game fans and movie fans, and I think they strike that balance fucking perfectly here.
And the game's fun, but it kind of moves along at a snail's pace.
Now, is the game any good?
Left! God damn it, you noob! Okay, and you leave my nails. And you leave my nails. Just go around the mausoleum here.
Yeah, I think they like it, maybe just a little bit. Game of the year. It looks very similar to Painkiller. Now that was like an old school first person shooter, and it plays like Serious Sam, you know, just mindless killing. This feels very much like Left 4 Dead before Left 4 Dead was a thing. You know, the guys are trying to run to safe rooms and all that. A group of 5 gamers though come in here and they all miss the glowing cupboard.
Is something in that wardrobe?
Oh, nice eye.
How? Abigail is not a gamer, she's the one that noticed it. Miller is exploring solo, which we all know is the worst thing you can do in Left 4 Dead.
You know, I'm exploring. I'm tearing shit up. Owning fools.
Things start heating up for Miller.
No, I'm out of goddamn roses, man.
And unfortunately, the Countess claims him as well.
God damn it, man. she got me.
Now he's died in the game, things start getting spooky for him around the office.
You gonna try and get back in the game? Well, hey, somebody out there?
Swink starts going on a tangent about how your perceptive reality can get skewed when you're playing a game, and he takes this land to a halt. Almost.
But I just figured out how to strip one of those zombie concubines naked.
That is what I'm talking about. How do you do it?
Now we get the best use of the Konami code ever put into games or movies.
Up, down, left, right, BA.
Boobs.
We all raise a controller to Loomis and log off for the night. Miller puts his mirror back up. Man's been snorting some G Fuel off that thing.
Oh, fuck, that burns.
He is seeing things and hearing things and freaking out. Now it could be the horror video game, it could be the copious amount of drugs. Who knows? He is being stalked and that tremor is just not letting up for him. He finds his controller and he thinks it's the vibration in it. How fucking strong is your vibration in your controller, my man? That isn't dual shock anymore, that's quad shock at minimum. The Countess finally makes her move IRL. R.I.P. Miller. Cut to work the next day and Hutch is rolling on in. The place is packed and he just has no clue what happened. He lets slip that he spoke to Miller just a few hours ago, so the detectives obviously set him down for more information.
Hey, I don't understand. I just spoke to him a few hours ago.
Oh, a few hours ago.
Get off me.
And Hutch, yeah, he just kind of explains how online gaming works to them.
You were here with Mr. Banks last night.
No, I was at my house. We were playing a video game.
Fucking boomers, am I right?
Yeah, sorry. What I meant was he was playing from here and I was at my place.
Hutch is innocent here, obviously, but my god, he needs to plead the fifth or something. Like, he just keeps talking and he's digging himself a hole.
You live close by?
Yeah, uptown, off Magazine.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's only 10 minutes away.
We see his body in the office and then we cut to it in the game. Finn has found him. Well, in the game anyway, Finn just kept playing.
Didn't you say Miller was stabbed to death, Hutch?
Finn just continues to be insensitive about the whole thing, but
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to quit hanging around with you, brother.
if it's from Finn, yeah, he gets a pass. He wants to keep playing the game, and Hutch does call out the fact that he's not playing in memory to anyone, he just wants to play it, and you know what? He does have a point.
To Miller.
You know what? Stop saying that, man. You're not playing for Miller or Loomis.
You don't even know those guys, right?
October reaches out to Abigail the only way she knows how.
So, Abigail, what's your story? We don't know much about you other than you've got poor bladder control and can't game for shit.
She triggers Hutch's trauma again, and then Hutch just starts going into all the weirdness of it.
Hi. Sorry.
Meanwhile, Swink is just trying to piece everything together.
The coincidence of finding Miller's game body and its similarity to the actual finding of his real body was quite perfect. That's why we're all so freaked out.
Finn is logged in and he is solo gaming away. We learn that the Countess hates mirrors, and this is a detail that I fucking love. Because she hates mirrors and it cracks, he flips it and uses the reflective metal of it basically to act as a mirror. It's a really cool detail. Like, that's one that stuck with me as well. Hutch starts leaning into the idea that the game is cursed, remembers Finn is playing it and just needs to fucking get over there to him. I would as well. I'd break marathons to get back to him. Sadly, he's too late.
Phineas! Finn, oh my god. What are you doing, man?
To find him sober, that is. Don't worry, he is alive. He's just not going to be of much use for a while. He explains the mirror mechanic here, which is both a throwaway comment and incredibly crucial to the later parts of this movie. Possibly. I'm not going to spoil it just yet. Bear it in mind though. I just love that detail because that's what it's all about. Both from a movie standpoint, you don't want everything to feel very ham-fisted.
I think it's made out of polished silver or something. I don't know. You guys don't have one.
But from a video game standpoint, that's what it's all about. You and your friends are playing a game, you will talk to each other about new mechanics you find, different strategies, and that's exactly what we get here. It just turns out to be such a major part of the movie to come. Hutch has given himself a trim. I'm counting 2 dates with Abigail so far, and you know what the 3rd date means.
Hey, I wanna fuck.
Swink, Hutch and Finn though are all starting to get their realities kind of fucked with. Like, they're all seeing shit. Swink starts researching perceptive reality and wants to learn more about that, while Hutch just starts looking into the deaths. When Hutch is leaving the office though, he is being stalked, and this scare always got me as a kid. It's not even a jump scare. It still got me though. We hear those tremors and Hutch wanders into the office and finds a phone, and the tremors stop. was it the vibrations? Like, I thought at first it was just maybe in his head. But no, it's actually the vibration of the phone somehow.
Hello?
I would not have that phone in my front pocket. Like, it's gonna blow things off. Not much else happens here. A colleague wanders in and Hutch just dips. Hutch gathers the gang and lays everything out. He starts going into detail about how the people that played the game died in real life in the same way.
Okay, so we all saw that Miller was stabbed to death. The cops think he was stabbed with shears. Loomis's friends too.
So Wink starts getting really freaked by this and invested.
I don't like this at all.
And October, rightfully so, starts getting really worried for Finn because he's not here and he did keep playing.
More importantly right now, where the fuck is my brother?
Then we cut to one of the best transitions you're ever going to see in cinema.
Close your eyes, I want to ride the skies in my sweet dreams.
Don't ever change, man. He is just having a ball cruising on down this road with the roof down, and I don't blame him for a moment. He sees a ghost very briefly and pulls off the road. And I fucking love this detail here. We see the horse cart for just one shot in particular, and then it's gone again. So it kind of sits with you and you're like, you think you've seen it, but you can't really remember because it's suddenly not there. A-class. A-class, stay alive. Finn is starting to get really freaked out now, but don't worry, he never loses his smooth talk.
I'm just south of Binky's adult store, man.
I'll drive.
Who's that, Abigail?
Yeah.
What's up, Mama?
What's up?
The gang set out to find him, but they remind him that he hasn't died in the game, so he should be fine on that basis.
I didn't die in the game, baby!
He reminds himself that she does only come at night in the game, and now dawn is coming faster than usual. I'm sad to say that it's not looking good for him. Finn is sadly gone, and the gang were just too late to save him. Next time you sit down to play a game, raise a controller to Finn. We all should. They find him just lying there in the road, and I'm not going to make a joke about it. Finn deserved better. October just reacts like all of us right now, let's be honest. We get a time lapse of the ambulance rolling up and everybody coming into the scene, which I'll be honest, it was a bit of a weird addition. You know, usually you get a fade out and everyone is just suddenly there, but nope, the movie went with a time lapse. Swink is being questioned by the detectives and Hutch is checking up on his game progress. These detectives want to know more, so Hutch does his best to try and explain this game to the detectives.
Is based on a story of the Guru plantation and a woman, Elizabeth Bathory.
I think I know that ghost story, yeah.
Okay, I'm with you so far.
I got this game last week from a friend. And him and two of his friends were murdered the same way they died in the game. Now explain that.
I am honestly amazed he's not been arrested at this point. I swear, if it wasn't for the passion in that man's voice, he would be fucking locked up by now.
I swear to you, this is not me.
They are sus about him, but just not enough to take him in, because they really don't have any evidence. He's just kind of there. Swink tries to explain as best as he can, and he gets shut down.
It's not even possible.
Yes, it is. Sir, technically anybody can help you do it.
Detective Dick here just decides to try and play the game for himself, so he says the script, and yeah, this isn't going to go well for you, man. Sorry. Well, not really sorry, a bit of an arsehole. Ooh, man is on the mansion already. Never mind. He's a pro. He fucking knows what he's doing. Good cop is being decent. Hutch just had one last chance to not be at a crime scene. It really isn't much to ask, is it?
Friend or no friend, game or no game. Next time I see you on a crime scene, I'm gonna be forced to take you in, you feel me?
Hutch spots Detective Dick playing the game and rushes back to stop him, but he is too late. This detective got fucked up. Maybe he's not a pro after all. He really is a fucking bad loser though, I think we can agree.
Well, I guess I could see how at your tender age, something like this game might put the scare into you.
Come on.
I got it.
They walk away and we do hear kind of as a throwaway comment their logic to not arresting Hutch, because let's be real, he didn't fly down here on a horse and cart himself.
Did you lock that kid up?
What, like he just rode up here on a carriage and mowed down the girl's brother?
Swink is now just freaking out at this point.
I know it, we all know it! Something's happening! Something bad!
Blake, shut the hell up!
Like you thought he was freaking out before, he is freaking out at this point.
Something's happening! Something bad!
Blake, shut the hell up!
October is pointing fingers at Hutch, which is a bit shit, but also pretty fair.
Why did you have to bring that game into our lives, Hutch? My brother was all that I had. That kid meant everything to me.
Us too, October. We fucking miss him. The crew hatch a plan and October takes charge on this one. She sends Hutch off to find out what he can about the game, and she's going to look into the killer and see what she can find out there. Detective Dick here investigates the game itself and goes to the most cliche and over-the-top video game cleric you've ever seen.
Hey, will something take the edge off? Some with a high frag count, I presume.
Do I look 12, man?
I take it you don't play them.
I have no idea who wrote him or what the inspiration was, but fuck me. I've never met someone in my life like him.
You know, a game is just an extension of the mind that created it.
He finds out the game isn't out yet, so it must be some kind of underground game, and that's the label we're going with.
It's probably some sort of underground game.
He hops back in his car, goes to take off, and yeah, he ain't fucking going anywhere anytime soon. Hutch and Abigail head back to Loomis's house, and this is where we finally get that backstory behind why Hutch is afraid of fire. His dad was an arsehole and burnt down the house when he was a kid, and his mum died in their bed. And that is why he's scared of fire.
So that's why you're scared of fire?
That's why I hate fire.
Sorry Hutch, you're right, you hate fire. The housemaid clearly hasn't been around yet, and they move on to Loomis's room. Abigail just continues to whip out her camera at all the wrong times.
What could we find in here that the cops haven't already found?
They didn't know where to look.
We get an address for the game company here, and Zwink is playing like that man behind the computer. Is it like the Oracle or M sort of character? You know, the one that can look everything up for you? Yeah. Zwink's the man for the job. October is following her own lead on the Countess. You know, she's getting more and more information. Her theory is fucking wild, but Hutch is starting to buy it at this point.
The nails are gonna put her human spirit back into her body, and then this is really, really important, you guys. An undead soul is only cleansed by burning its blood.
I just can't believe this is happening.
The police roll up hard on October and Zwink, because let's be honest, they are obviously going to be lead suspects in this case. They manage to escape and sneak past this guard doing his best Metal Gear Solid guard impression, but not before Good Cop finds out what she was working on, and that is Elizabeth Bathory. This Elizabeth, not that Elizabeth. Just wanted to clarify. Hutch and our way too inappropriate photographer roll up on the dev studio, and they start investigating. Will you please give it a rest with the camera already? Fuck me. Abigail finds a doll of the Countess and surprisingly doesn't take a photo. Well done, you're learning. We pan across to Crazy Eyes here.
What are you doing in my house?
He has got the shears in hand and wanting Abigail out. Thankfully, Hutch flies in the nick of time and calls him out as Crowley, the creator of the game.
He created Stay Alive.
That's right, it's his video game. We de-escalate very fucking quickly from that moment to this moment. We're now just sitting down for a chat while Crowley plays the smallest little violin that you can't see. He wanted a really true horror experience.
For years, I'd been wanting to create as authentic a horror video game as I could. Growing up, I couldn't get the tales of Elizabeth Bathory out of my head.
And Hutch just starts laying out all the deaths that have occurred at this point.
Is five people have died after playing your game.
Crowley really had no idea what the fuck was going on. Crowley is invested though, because he leans in from the most leathery couch that you've ever heard in a movie.
Are you saying this has something to do with me? Is that what you're saying?
They all died the same way their characters.
He took a lot of his inspiration from a book and he points him towards the author of the book who wrote The Lady of Blood. Now we're going to go to an author who owns a bookshop who wrote a book on Elizabeth Bathory. Yep, she looks exactly like you thought she'd look like, doesn't she? Now that Crowley scene and this one here with the author, I don't remember. That must be specific to just this cut. But this scene in the bookshop, I'll be honest, does last a little bit too long. Really all they take from it is they learn that Elizabeth Bathory tortured girls and took their blood because she believed she would be youthful for it. And that's kind of her motivation. Like, she tells us the backstory that there was one day a young girl cut herself around Elizabeth Bathory and got a little bit of blood on her. Now Elizabeth Bathory felt the softest she's ever felt and decided that was her life's calling and she was going to just massacre everybody. Women. It's called cocoa butter. It makes my hand feel smoother than ever, and I smell like chocolate. The locals found out about this, locked up Elizabeth in a tower, and she just cussed that she would come back one day somehow. Hutch has a brilliant idea that the diary could actually be the original text. You know, the stuff you say at the start of the game? That's how this all feeds in together. We rendezvous with Zwink, and we see that he is just not accepting that this is possibly a ghost.
I mean, you really expect me to believe that we conjured up our evil spirit with the game voice-activated seance?
And the game is playing in the background. Zwink tells us that he's not the one to do it, and I'll be honest, the game now playing itself, for Zwink of all characters, yeah, he reacts far less than you would expect at this point.
I didn't turn it on.
Like, he's been freaking out all movie, at all steps, and this is the moment he's nice and calm about it.
But you said if we didn't play the game, we'd be fine. Right, Hutch? Right? I thought those were the rules!
Oh, never mind, that's the Zwink I know. October is out having a fag and something is just creeping on her, so she goes to investigate. Now, I've never seen a house actually being built on the inside, but I'll be honest, this is exactly what I think they look like. So either I'm wrong and so are the set designers, or it's fucking accurate. Either way, well done us. Our girl finds a hammer and then she spies a nail gun, because why use manual when you can use automatic, you know what I mean? She takes a few shots at the Countess and misses them all. It's a ghost after all. Absolutely no fault of 괱ᴏᴜᴜ's though, I mean she was fucking nailing headshots. Apparently she went miles for a smoke though, because our gang here, yeah, they're doing a fucking triathlon just to get back up to her. 괱ᴏᴜ gets chained up and the gang start running towards the noise.
October!
Not gonna lie, of all the characters, I figure 괱ᴏᴜ would be the one that enjoyed the chains. Sometimes you can be wrong. The Countess appears and sadly 괱ᴏᴜ is drained. We're another player down.
Go fuck yourself.
We cut back to Hutch and the gang, and I'll be honest, Hutch is way cleaner than you would expect him to be at this point. Like, he was just moisturising his whole body, and now it's just a little bit on him. You know what? Sure. Abigail didn't want to mess up her van. He is really feeling the guilt on this, because not only are all his friends dying, but he's the one that brought the game to them. And now Abigail's involved, and she's not even a gamer. You know, he met her just like a few days ago. So they start talking about that, and she opens up and breaks down her walls, that she doesn't really ever shit together. She acts like she does, but this van is her house. I can see why you'd want him to clean up before he got in then. I mean, it is your home. The gang have their eyes set on the tower here, and 괬ᴜᴜ boots up the game, because to him, it's better that he plays it rather than autopilot, because he's better than any fucking bot there is.
Won't let us stop playing, am I right? So if it's gonna play with or without us, at least I can use myself as a decoy. I can protect us.
He has taken one for the team. Credit to you, 괬ᴜᴜ. Now, whilst Hutch and Abigail are investigating, 괬ᴜᴜ has one job.
Alright, buddy, you know what to do. Stay alive.
Ah, he said it. He gets that visor to fuck finally, and he jumps in. Like, he means business when that visor's down. Hutch and Abigail get to first base while walking up to the front door. This is the moment that 괬ᴜᴜ realises they're in the game mansion.
Holy shit.
Like they have found the IRL location for what the game's based on. We get that vibration again and shit is going down. 괬ᴜᴜ is leading Hutch around the house and giving him directions whilst playing the game, and Abigail, yeah, she just wanders off herself. Although you've watched it up until now, just in case you didn't quite know what was happening.
Just like the game.
Cheers, Abigail, we can always count on you. Abigail finds a secret attic through that cupboard and she uncovers all things Countess. We're talking the shears, we're talking rotting dolls, and we're talking the diary itself. We just fade to black and Abigail screams. Hutch hears the scream, and I'm not gonna lie, Abigail must have broken the fucking sound barrier with this, because she is not close at all. 괬ᴜᴜ tells him about a shortcut to get to the room, but he needs a crowbar, and I fucking love this detail. Like, this is another one of those moments that stuck with me all these years. He needs a crowbar, doesn't have one. 괬ᴜᴜ has one in the game. So 괬ᴜᴜ drops it in the game and it appears in the real world. Fucking wild. Like, I'm so here for this movie. Abigail is just being tormented by everything at this point, and Hutch comes in clutch. We just very lastly remind everybody that we need 3 nails, a rose, and to burn her blood before we move into the endgame.
We need 3 nails. And there's one last thing. Remember what 괱ᴜᴜ said?
The way to cleanse a witch's soul is to burn her blood.
Oh, wait, Hutch. The roses.
The final boss is going down. Suddenly the van locks, 괬ᴜᴜ is outside and can't play. That carriage is coming for him until suddenly...
Hell yeah.
Front flip, baby, he is out of there. Say what you will about 괬ᴜᴜ, man plays an honest game. Our lovers try and catch up to 괬ᴜᴜ. 괬ᴜᴜ is out running a dead woman on a carriage, you know how it goes. He stumbles into a bush, the shears get unsheathed. Another player down. Our final 2 just prep their inventory boxes as we move towards the final tower.
Okay, we're gonna need a hammer. That'll work.
That fucking horse will not just leave, it's everywhere. Hutch throws Abigail into a tomb before he whips out this move.
Thanks, 괬ᴜᴜ.
That was badass, man. That was badass. This is the tomb from the game, so you know what that means. Hidden staircase, into the basement, and off we go. The roses are dying out fast, so something is going down. Abigail petals the Countess in the face.
Alright.
And we get moving. All of the countessi, all of the Countess Sai victims start chasing her down, and they all kind of have that Alma from The Ring vibe. I think her name's Alma. Hutch and Abigail keep on booking it, and they get separated by a door. Hutch just continues to be a true hero.
I'm not leaving.
Abigail, though, is the voice of reason and gives Hutch that push that he needs to keep going.
I want you to go.
Oh, and they get to second base now. I'm glad we're at second base. Third would have been weird through the door. I don't think it's made for that. Hutch finds the Countess, and I'm not going to lie, she looks fine. For being hundreds of years old and dead, of course. That's what I mean, just for those reasons only. Hutch starts to absolutely nail her. Lucky bastard. Abigail is just plucking the final petals before we cut to black, and she's the final victim. The Countess takes that blood and licks the frosting before... Wow, that was not in the theatrical version of this movie. That blood is working for you, girl. You know what? I'm going to change sides now. I'm for the cause. Hutch has got the nails and hammer in hand, and he is working backwards in the bedroom because it ends with head. He turns round, he is packing up to leave, and the Countess sits up and she is popping out those nails Wolverine style. Hutch realises just how thankful he is that he went with Alienware, because his laptop has that sweet, sweet shine, before holding it up and showing her her own reflection. He whipples out his Zippo, burns down the room, and this comes full circle with his fear.
I hate fire.
Sorry Hutch, not fear. All hope is lost before... Zwink is not fucking dead, baby. Come on. Him and Abigail get him out to save the day. The gang are walking away from the destruction caused, fire engines are blaring in the background, and they slip through the vents. Apparently Abigail was meant to go through the vents first, but Zwink was just sick of being in the middle. Come on, did you think I was going to go this whole movie and not make one Malcolm in the Middle joke? Come on. We fade out and we cut to that zany game shop owner, and he's got a new delivery. Oh shit, it is Stay Alive, mass produced with guides as well. What would the guide be if you can't beat the game? Like, who wrote that? I know I'm totally overthinking it, but that is the question I had. Like, how would you write that book if playing the game kills you? Do you know what I mean? We get a final shot of the in-game tower and she is watching. The Countess stayed alive. And with that, we move on to credits. I cannot imagine the legal conversations that our little trio are going to have here. They are lead suspects in multiple murders, one of them being a police detective. That already is a bit of a sticking point. Now, even if they could prove they didn't do any of that, they did commit arson on a really old, I would imagine, historic tower. I know it's one of those things that you really don't need to think about, like the movie's wrapped up, move on. But you can't help but think, what happens next for the characters? Because they're not going back to normal life, let's be real. Anyway, that was Stay Alive. What a fucking movie that was. I had an absolute blast watching this movie again just for this video. It was fucking great. It was better than I remembered it. There was a lot in this movie that I didn't quite remember. Not as a fault to the movie, it was just years ago I seen it. And with it being the unrated version, there's some stuff in here that I was watching for the first time. Like, I really don't remember that moment. I would definitely have remembered seeing that as a kid, let's be honest. Did you watch Stay Alive back in the day? Let me know. Like, what moments stood out to you? What did you love about this movie? As much as I really enjoyed the movie, and yes, it could be picked apart, I might be looking at it through rose-tinted lenses. Because it's video games, it's horror movies blending together into that sweet, sweet 15 rating. I'm just in awe of this film. Before you head off, I want to say thank you so much for watching, and if you haven't yet, hit subscribe. Every like, comment that you put on this video helps push it to more people, and I fucking love you all for that. With the traction coming in on my videos lately, I have thoroughly enjoyed just going through the comments and reading them all. Some of you are funny fuckers, so if you did enjoy it, you have anything you want to add to it, something I missed, something you agree with, let me know. And if you enjoyed this, have a look at the links below where I put my playlist down there. I've got the full breakdowns and I've got the shorter snippets of things I just kind of want to talk about. Now that this is all wrapped up, I'll see you next time, and stay alive.